Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk about performance. For all of you, especially you athletes out there, but also you business people out there, any of you who's a brand builder or a CEO, or you want to become a brand builder or a CEO, you want to become an athlete, what do you need to do to really get yourself out there? And the key thing is you must perform. You got to perform and produce results. We are in a performance-based business, in case nobody told you. This is not a hard work-based business. This is not a desire-based business. This is not a motivation-based business, even though these are some things that I hear from people all the time, adults and young people who are saying, well, Dre, I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I really want this outcome. I bust my ass, I work hard every single day, yet I'm not getting the results, or people are not giving me a chance. Well, there's a reason they're not giving you a chance, because you're playing the wrong game. This game is not about, there's a balloon floating by, so y'all saw that floating by as a balloon. This game is not about how hard you want it, even though some of your favorite motivational speakers will keep saying that to you. This game is not about having a why, even though they'll tell you that. This game is not about you believing in yourself, even though that matters. All those things matter, but what you get paid for is performing. So I'm going to help you understand the concept of getting your performance up. And oh yeah, anything I say in this video that really resonates with you, lands with you, send me a text message. I got a text line open now. It's 305-384-6894. The link is down below. Again, 305-384-6894. The number's down there, the link is down there. It'll take you to open up your text message. And again, so let me explain to you something about getting your performance up. Because if you want to get paid, based on the game that you put out to the world, to the results, you want to get paid based on the results that you produce, then you got to get your performance up. Not your hard work, not your why, not your motivation, your performance. So number one thing, I want you to understand that your performance is like baking a cake. Because here's the thing that happened. There was an athlete who reached out to me. He says something like, Dre, I play on a basketball team, and my coach benched me because I was turning the ball over and I was just missing shots. And then the player said, well, my confidence went down. I don't feel too good about myself right now, but I work hard in practice every day, so I don't understand why the coach benched me. And I explained to the player the same thing I'll explain to you. Of course the coach benched you because you're not performing. All right, the game ain't about how hard you work. The game is not about you wanting to be successful. The game is about performance, okay? Nobody cares if you want it if you do not perform. Okay, this is the way that it works. It may be a harsh reality that some of you have never heard before, but if you stay close to me, you will hear this over and over again, and I'll help change your mentality to stop thinking like you're owed something because you work hard. A lot of people work hard. Nobody cares that you work hard. Even though you might have been preached to your whole life that that's the key, that is not the key. All right, this is a new idea smacking you in the face right now coming from me. And I did all the stuff that you're wanting to do in ball, I did it. All right, coming from a background probably worse than yours, still made it happen. So I am qualified to talk about this. And I told the player this is the first point. Your performance is like a cake. All right, if any of you ever go to a bakery and you buy a cake, or you go to the grocery store, they got the cakes in the little bakery section. All right, you know somebody had to do a lot of work to put things together to make that cake, right? But you didn't pay for all that. What you're paying for is the actual cake. If I want a pound cake, I want me a pineapple upside down cake, I want me I don't even know the other kinds of cake, birthday cake, whatever it's going to be, I'm paying for the cake. The cake is the performance. I'll pay $28. I'll go to Whole Foods or a bakery and say, hey, make this birthday cake and put this design on it and put this happy birthday on it and all that. I'm paying for the cake. All right, you understand? The ingredients, all that other stuff, the hard work, the determination, the waking up early, the skills, the years of effort that you put into it, all of that stuff is factored into the price of the cake. But without the cake, I don't care about any of that shit. Do you understand? So if I go to the bakery and I say, yo, somebody's birthday is 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna put down a $50 deposit and I'll give you another $50 when I come pick it up for this $100 cake, and I'm gonna come pick it up 2 weeks from now, the day of that person's birthday, so I get the cake. If I show up and you ain't got the cake, but you got all the ingredients spread out on the table, I'm like, yo, I don't give a damn about the ingredients. Y'all following my metaphor here? I don't care about the ingredients. I paid you for a cake. So first of all, I'm not paying the other 50. Second of all, give me my $50 deposit back. And third, I'm gonna give you a bad review on Yelp and Google and Facebook because you didn't do what I paid you to do. All right, I don't pay for ingredients, I pay for results. And that leads me into point number 2. Again, we're talking about getting your performance up. Outside of the grocery store, nobody pays for ingredients. In the grocery store, like just yesterday, as a matter of fact, there's these vegan oatmeal raisin cookies that my girl and I like to make. So we go to the grocery store and we read the recipe, we get all these ingredients. And yesterday we were about to make some and we didn't have flour. It's like 2 different kinds of flour you gotta have. It's like sorghum flour and oat flour, and we didn't have it. So I went to the grocery store and I bought sorghum flour and I bought oat flour, and we also needed oats, needed vanilla extract, there's like butter, what else? Raisins, oatmeal raisin cookies. You need almond butter, cinnamon, all this other stuff, all these ingredients, right? When you go to the grocery store, you buy the ingredients. Understand something. The grocery store is the only place in the world where people pay for ingredients. Otherwise, anywhere else in the world, nobody pays for ingredients. And this is a metaphor, folks. If I want a cake, the only place I'm buying the ingredients is at the grocery store. Everywhere else, I'm only paying for the cake. I'm not paying for anything else. I'm not paying for vanilla extract at the bakery. All right, when I go to there's a bakery here that does, it's called Salty Donut in Miami. And they got these great donuts that I like. There's this place down south of the city, right south of the city, called Niles Berry Farm. They got the strawberry farm, and they also got a bakery where they have like cinnamon rolls. I'm not paying for the ingredients to the cinnamon rolls. I'm paying for a finished, hot cinnamon roll that I can eat. I can pick it up and eat it right now as soon as I get done paying for it. We only pay for the results. So you, extending this metaphor here, hopefully I didn't lose anybody with the metaphor. When you want to be a performer, and let's say in sports, what are some ingredients of being a great performer in sports? Practicing all the time. All right, you work on your game, working hard in practice, doing conditioning work, lifting weights, dribbling drills, shooting drills, having a desire, wanting to get better, having an aim to go play in college. You want to play in the NBA. You want to be the greatest player of all time. All of these are ingredients, everybody. Everybody follow me? These are ingredients. When you go get on the team, if I'm the coach, I don't give a damn how many jump shots you shot in the summertime if you don't make none during tryouts. I don't care how badly you want to make the NBA if you can't make a fucking layup in the game. I don't care how motivated you are to be successful in basketball if you are not able to prove that you're good enough to even earn playing time during tryouts. All I care about is, can you perform? If you don't perform, I don't care about any of your ingredients. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care how much you try and practice. I don't care how much desire you have, because all I'm measuring you by is performance. This is how life works. So any of you young folks who is listening to this right now, and maybe your parents or your teachers or maybe some of your coaches have you thinking that just because you believe and you want it and you work hard, that means you're going to be successful. I'm telling you that is bullshit, and it is not true. And I'm pausing here to give you a second to let that one sink in. It is not true. In life, ask your parents. Ask if you have any adults around you the type of people who keep it real with you, let them watch this video and let them tell you anything I'm saying is wrong. All right, I challenge you. Anybody tell me anything I'm saying is wrong, you let me know. In quote unquote real life, you get paid for performance. You don't get paid for wanting it. You don't get paid for desire. All right, you don't get paid for being motivated. I know there's a lot of motivators out there that got you thinking that that's the thing, and they get you all hyped up and excited, and you wear the t-shirts and listen, fuck all of that. All right, you get paid for performing. If you don't perform, nobody's paying for your ingredients. They're only paying for the results. They're paying for the cake. They're not paying for the vanilla extract. And point number 3, the topic here today again is getting your performance up. Here's the thing that you need to do. You need to figure out your recipe. And here's where a lot of people go wrong, even when you understand points number 1 and number 2. Because a lot of people you're trying to use the wrong recipe. In other words, you see what somebody else did and what they're talking about, and you're trying to bake the same kind of cake that they bake. The thing is, you don't have the same ingredients that they have. You're not working with the same recipe that they have. So some person might bake some chocolate brownies because that's the kind of ingredients that they have. That's the kind of person they are, and that's the way that they live, and that's their mixture. It works for them. But you don't need to make chocolate brownies. You need to be making cinnamon rolls. You need to be making pound cakes. You need to be making, maybe you don't need to even make a cake at all. Maybe you like something else. Maybe you need to make a vegan cake because you can't be eating all that sugar and all that other stuff. You got to figure out your recipe. In other words, here's what I mean when I say recipe. Looking at the elements that you have, meaning your skills, your abilities, the things you're interested in, the type of person that you are, ask yourself, what is the right mix? How can I, not even the right mix, that's the wrong word. What is the ideal mix with all the stuff that I have, me as a person? How can I make this work in such a way that I can really produce something valuable for the world that is worth something, it's worth some return on investment? You got to ask yourself that question. And this is not something that you're going to figure out in 30 seconds. This is something that you really got to play around with. You got to marinate on this and try to figure out your life and what type of person you really are. And a lot of times, especially because we had the internet and you got people like myself and others who are out here telling you things all the time, a lot of times you see people, and maybe you might be one of them, you're trying to work somebody else's recipe. You're trying to bake the cake that they baked, but you're not them. All right, you don't have the same mixes they have. All right, maybe you don't need to be a basketball player. Maybe you don't need to be an online influencer. Maybe you don't need to be I don't even know what's the other things everybody's trying to be. All right, maybe you don't need to be that. There's something else that you should be, you could be, and you would be great at it if you would stop trying to be everybody else. but you got to be willing to step outside of looking at them and trying to be them, and take the pieces from them that work for you, and then do what you got to do with the stuff that works for you. So anything that I say to you here, you ain't got to do exactly as I did. You don't have to try to be a ball player or build a brand or write books or do any of that stuff. You take the elements of what I talk about that work for you, and you use those ingredients, mix them up with your ingredients, and then you make your own cake. All right, that's the key right here. And a lot of people get this misconstrued because you're listening to these people who are talking to you as if you don't do things how they did it, then something's wrong with you. All right, that's not right. That's not what it is. And hopefully this opens the eyes of some people out here. So let me recap these 3 points. We're talking about getting your performance up. If there was an athlete who said, well, Dre, I work hard all the time, but the coach benched me because I was messing up in the game. And I said, well, the coach should have benched you because the purpose of the game is for you to perform. You didn't perform in the game, doesn't matter how hard you worked in practice. So number one, when we talk about getting your performance up, number one thing you have to understand is that in performance is like baking a cake. Nobody pays for the ingredients. If you go to the bakery to buy a cake, they're not going to hand you a bag full of ingredients like vanilla extract and flour and butter and eggs and then say, okay, here you go, it's $50 for the cake. You're like, yo, this ain't no cake. This is a bunch of ingredients. No, I paid you to put them together. I'm not putting them together. I paid you to do that. If you don't do it, then you don't get the money. So performance is like baking the cake. It is not the ingredients. Number two, nobody pays for ingredients unless you're in a grocery store. Grocery store is the only place in the world where people pay for ingredients, and maybe one of those meal delivery services, where they give you all the ingredients in a box and then you bake and then you cook it up. And there's a few like that, but for the most part, I got a meal delivery service. They bring me the meal. All right, I don't want the fucking ingredients. I'm not cooking shit. I'll pay you for the meal. You bring me the finished meal. All I gotta do is heat it up and eat it. All right, that's what I like. I'm not paying for ingredients. I don't want to do the work. I'm paying you to do the work. And number three, getting your performance up, you got to figure out your recipe. Look at the elements that you have. Take elements from other people that work for you, and then you put them together to build your own thing. So when I was playing ball, for example, people would ask me, well, Dre, who'd you try to pattern your game after? The answer was nobody. I don't try to pattern my game after anybody. So I might see Steph Curry do something, and I say, all right, let me take that little thing from Steph Curry and add that to my game. But I'm not trying to be Steph Curry. I might see LeBron. Let me take this little thing from LeBron. Or I like this that D-Wade did. Or I like this that Jordan did. Or I see Kobe did this little thing. I'm going to take that little piece. So I took a bunch of stuff from a bunch of people. Then I took my own shit from the way that I played, and then I made my own game. All right, my game wasn't like anybody. All right, you don't have to try to be like anybody. You got to be yourself. There's only one you, and if you try to copy anybody else, it's not going to work. And if you've been trying to do that, no wonder you haven't been performing. That's the exact point. So anything that I said in this video that's really resonated with you, really touched you in a way that really makes sense for you, send me a text message. My number, 305-384-6894. Once again, 305-384-6894. When I get an editor, graphic designer for video, we'll put the number down here. When I do that, the numbers will come up. 305-384-6894. And go claim your free copy of my book, The Mirror of Motivation, The Self-Guide, The Self-Discipline. The book link is down below, and my number is down in the video description. Again, that's 305-384-6894 and mirrorofmotivation.com. Work on your game. Dre, all